भगवता धम्मो सुपटिपन्नो यस्स भगवतो साङ्गो तमयं भगवन्तं सधम्मं ससङ्गम् इमे हि सकार हि यथार्हम् आरूपिते हि अभिव्ययामा साधुनो वन्ति भगवा शुचि परिनिभूतोऽपि पश्चिमा जनता नुकम्पमानसा इमे सकारि दुर्गतपणाका प्रभूते पटिगह्णातु अम्हाकं विरतं हिता सुखाय अर्हं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो भगवा बुद्धं भगवन्त अभिवादे स्वागतो भगवता धम्मो धम्मं नमस्सामि सुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावक संघो संघं आनन्दमयं बुद्धस्य भगवतो उपभाग नमकारं करोमसि नमो तस् भगवतो अरहतो सम्बुद्धस्स नमो तस् भगवतो अरहतो सम्बुद्धस्स नमो तस् भगवतो अरहतो सम्बुद्धस्स lights every time. Popping the home is not working very right. It should talk that once again. What should not be the answer? Handmayam buddhanusati-nayam karomase tam gopana bhagavanta evam kalyano kiti saddo abhugato इति पिसो भगवा अर्हन् सम्मा सम्बुद्धो विद्याचरण सम्पन्नो सुगतो लोकविदु अनुत्तरो पुरुषदं सारथि सत्तादि मनुष्यानं बुद्धो भगवाति अन्नमयं बुद्धाभिगीतिं करोमसि बुद्धवारहन्त वरद द्विगुणाभियुतो शुद्धाभिज्ञान करुणा हि समागततो बोधेसियो सुजनतं कमलं वसुरो वन्दामहं तमर्णं शिरसा जिनेन्द्रं बुद्धो यो सर्वपाणिनं शरणं खेममुत्तमं प्रथमानुसतिष्ठानं वन्दामि शिरेणहं बुद्धस्सास्मि दासीवा बुद्धो मे सामिकेश्वरो बुद्धस्सहं नियादेमि शरीरं जीवितं चिदं वन्दन्ति इस्सामि बुद्धस्यैव सुबोधितं नत्ति मे शरणम् अन्यत् बुद्धो मे शरणं वरम् एतेन सज्जवज्जेन वड्ढेयं सत्कुशासने बुद्ध धम्मे वन्दमानाय यं पुण्यं वसुतं इद सर्वेऽपि अन्तराया मे माहि सुतसतेजसा। आनन्दमयं धम्मानुसतिनयं करोमसे स्वाखातो भगवन् धम्मो सन्दिष्टिको अकालिको एहि पस्सिको ओपनयिको पश्चात्तं वेदितव्यो विज्ञोहीति। आनन्दमयं धम्माभिगीतिं करोमसे स्वाखाततादिगुणयोगवसेन श्रेयो यो मग्गपाकपरियक्तिविमोखभेदो धम्मो पुरुकपतना तदधारिधारी वन्दामहं तमरं वरधम्ममेतं धम्मो यो सर्वपाणिनं शरणं खेममुत्तमं द्वितीयानुसतिष्ठानं वन्दामि तं शिरेनहं धम्मस्सस्मिदासीव धम्मो मे सामिकीसरो धम्मसहं नियादेमि शरीरं जीवितं चिदं वन्दन्तीहं चरिष्यामि धम्मस्यैव सुधम्मतं नत्ति मे शरणम् अन्यन् धम्मो मे शरणं वरम् एतेन सज्जवज्जेन वड्ढेयं स तु शासने धम्मं मे वन्दमानाय यं पुण्यं वसुतं इद सर्वेऽपि अन्तरायापि माहेषु तस्य तेजसा। आनन्दमयं संघानुसतिनयं करोमसे सुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावकसङ्गो उजुपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावकसङ्गो न्यायपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावकसङ्गो सामीचिपटिपन्नो भगवतो सावकसङ्गो यदिदं चत्तारि पुरुषैः अष्टपुरुषपुद्गला एष भगवतो सावकसङ्गो आहुनेयो पाहुने दक्षिणेयो अञ्जलिकरणीयो अनुत्तरं पुण्यकृतं लोकसाक्षी। आनन्दमयं संगाभिगीतिं करोमसे सधम्मजो सुपटिपतिगुणादियुतो यो अष्टविधो अरियकुगलसङ्गसेठो शीलादिधम्मपवराश्रयकाय चेतो वन्दामहं तमरिगणं सुशुद्धं सङ्घो यो सर्वपाणिनं शरणं खेममुत्तमं तदीयानुसतिष्ठानं वन्दामि तं शिरेणहं सङ्घस्मिदासीव सङ्गो मे सामिकेसरो सङ्गसहं नियादीमि शरीरं जीवितं चिदं बन्धन्ति अं चरिष्यामि सङ्गस्सोपटिपन्नतं नत्थि मे शरणम् अन्य सङ्गो मे शरणं वरम् एतेन सच्चवज्जेन वड्ढेयं सत्कुशासने सङ्घं मे वन्दमानाय यं पुण्यं पशुतम् इद सभ्येऽपि अन्तरायामि माहेषु तस्य तेजसा
आर्य अष्टांगिक मार्गदर्शना का जो संक्षिप्त पाठ है पढ़ेंगे।
पेज 66
हिंदी चैंटिंग बुक में।
आर्य अष्टांगिक मार्ग की देशना। हंदमयम आर्य अट्ठ अंगिका मग्ग पाठम भणामसे। आए अब हम आर्य अष्टांगिक मार्ग का पाठ करें। अयम एव आर्यो अष्टांगिको मग्गो। यह है आर्य अष्टांगिक मार्ग। से यथीदम अर्थात सम्मा दिट्ठी, सम्यक दृष्टि, सम्मा संकल्पो, सम्यक संकल्प, सम्मा वाचा, सम्यक वचन, सम्मा कम्मन्तो, सम्यक कर्म, सम्मा आजीवो, सम्यक आजीविका, सम्मा वायामो, सम्यक उद्यम, सम्मा सती, सम्यक सती, सम्मा समाधि, सम्यक समाधि। कतमा च भिक्खवे सम्मा दिट्ठी। भिक्षु सम्यक दृष्टि क्या है? यम को भिक्खवे दुखे ज्ञानम, जो दुख का ज्ञान है। दुख समुदय ज्ञानम, दुख के समुदय का ज्ञान है। दुख निरोधे ज्ञानम, दुख के निरोध का ज्ञान है। दुख निरोध गामिनीया पटिपदाय ज्ञानम, दुख निरोध को ले जाने वाले मार्ग का ज्ञान। अयम उच्चति भिक्खवे सम्मा दिट्ठी। भिक्षुओं, इसको कहा जाता है सम्यक दृष्टि। कतमा च भिक्खवे सम्मा संकल्पो। और भिक्षुओं, सम्यक संकल्प क्या है? नेखम्म संकल्पो, निष्क्रमण का संकल्प। अव्यापाद संकल्पो, निर्द्वेष का संकल्प। अहिंसा संकल्पो, अहिंसा का संकल्प। अयम उच्यति भिक्खवे सम्मा संकल्पो। भिक्षुओं, इसको कहा जाता है सम्यक संकल्प। कतमा च भिक्खवे सम्मा वाचा। और भिक्षुओं, सम्यक वचन क्या है? मूसावादा वीरमणि, मिथ्या वचन न बोलना। विसुनाय वाचाय वीरमणि, दुर्भावना पूर्ण वचन न बोलना। परुषाय वाचाय वीरमणि, कड़वे वचन न बोलना। सम्फल समथप्पलापा वीरमणि, व्यर्थ का वार्तालाप न करना। अयम उच्यति भिक्खवे सम्मा वाचा, भिक्षुओं इसको कहते हैं सम्मत वचन। कतमे च भिक्खवे सम्मा कम्मन्तो, और भिक्षुओं सम्यक कर्म क्या है? पाणातिपाता वीरमणि, प्राणी हत्या न करना। अदिन्ना दाना वीरमणि, जो नहीं दिया गया है उसे नहीं लेना। कामेषु मिथ्याचारा वीरमणि, व्यभिचार न करना। अयम उच्यति भिक्खवे सम्मा कम्मन्तु, भिक्षुओं इसे कहते हैं सम्यक कर्म। कतमा च भिक्खवे सम्मा आजीवो, भिक्षुओं सम्यक आजीविका क्या है? इद भिक्खवे अरिय सावको मिच्छा आजीवम पहाय, सम्मा आजीवेन जीवितम कप्पेति। भिक्षुओं आर्य श्रवक दुष्कृतित आजीविका को छोड़कर सम्यक कर्म करते हुए अपनी आजीविका अर्जित करता है। अयम उच्यति भिक्खवे सम्मा आजीवो, भिक्षुओं इसे कहते हैं सम्यक आजीविका। कतमो च भिक्खवे सम्मा वायामो, और भिक्षुओं सम्यक उद्यम क्या है? इद भिक्खवे भिक्खु अनुपानम पापकानम अकुशलानम धम्मानम अनुपादाय छन्दम जनीति वायमति वीर्यम आरभति चित्तम पग्रहणाति पदहति। भिक्षुओं जब कोई भिक्षु अनुत्पन्न मन की पापपूर्ण अकुशल अवस्थाओं को उत्पन्न न होने देने के लिए इच्छा पैदा करता है, उद्यम करता है, वीर्य करता है, चित्त को जगाता है, लगाता है, परिश्रम करता है। उपानम पापकानम अकुशलानम धम्मानम पहानाय छंद जनेति वायमति वीर्यम आरभति चित्तम पग्रहणाति पदहति। जब कोई भिक्षु मन की पापपूर्ण अकुशल अवस्थाओं का प्रहाण करने के लिए इच्छा पैदा करता है, उद्यम करता है, वीर्य करता है, चित्त को लगाता है, परिश्रम करता है। अनुपानम कुशलानम धम्मानम उपादाय छंद जनेति वायमिति वीर्यम आरभति चित्तम पग्रहणाति पदहति। जब कोई भिक्षु मन की अनुत्पन्न कुशल अवस्थाओं को उत्पन्न करने के लिए इच्छा पैदा करता है, उद्यम करता है, वीर्य करता है, चित्त को लगाता है और परिश्रम करता है। उपानम अकुशलानम धम्मान ठितिया असम्मोयसाय भियो भावाय विपुल्लाय भावनाय पारिपूर्या छंद जनीति वायमिति वीर्यम आरभति चित्तम पग्रहणाति पदहति। जब कोई भिक्षु उत्पन्न हुई मन की कुशल अवस्थाओं को स्थिर रखने, समाप्त नहीं होने देने, उनकी क्षमता बढ़ाने और विपुल पूर्णता प्राप्त करने के लिए इच्छा पैदा करता है, उद्यम करता है, वीर्य करता है, चित्त को लगाता है और परिश्रम करता है। अयम उच्यति भिक्खवे सम्मा वायामो, इसको भिक्षुओं सम्यक उद्यम कहा जाता है। कतमा च भिक्खवे सम्मा सति, और भिक्षुओं सम्मा सति क्या है? इद भिक्खवे भिक्खु काये कायानुपस्सी विहरति। जब कोई भिक्षु शरीर में शरीर को जानते हुए, शरीर में शरीर को जानते हुए
एक्चुअली फील करते हैं, इसको ये तो नहीं कायानुपस्सी,
शरीर को तो दिखते ही है,
दिखने का मतलब शरीर के अंदर, ऐसे शीशे में नहीं देखा।
आज जब कोई भिक्षु शरीर में शरीर को जानते हुए आतापि संपजानो सतीमा, पूर्ण रूप से जागरूक और सचेत रहते हुए तप करता है। विनीय लोके अविद्या दो मनस्सम, लोक में भी सभी लिप्सा और दो मनस्य को छोड़कर वेदनासु वेदनानुपस्सी विहरति, कोई भिक्षु वेदनाओं में वेदना को जानते हुए आतापि संपजानो सतीमा, पूर्ण रूप से जागरूक और सचेत रहते हुए तप करता है। विनीय लोके अविद्या दो मनस्सम, लोक में सभी लिप्सा और दौर मनस्य को छोड़कर चित्ते चित्तानुपस्सी विहरति, कोई भिक्षु चित्त में चित्त को जानते हुए आतापि संपजानो सतीमा, पूर्ण रूप से जागरूक और सचेत रहते हुए तप करता है। विनीय लोके अभिज्ञा दो मनस्सम, लोक में सभी लिप्सा और दौर मनस्य को छोड़कर धम्मे सुधम्मानुपस्सी विहरति, कोई भिक्षु चित्त की अवस्थाओं को जानते हुए आतापि संपजानो सतीमा, पूर्ण रूप से जागरूक और सचेत रहते हुए तप करता है। विनीय लोके अभिज्ञा दो मनस्सम, लोक में सभी लिप्सा और दौर मनस्य को छोड़कर अयम उच्यति भिक्खवे सम्मा सती, भिक्षुओं इसको सम्यक सती कहा जाता है। कतमोच भिक्खवे सम्मा समाधि, और सम्यक समाधि किसको कहते हैं भिक्षुओं? इद भिक्खवे भिक्खु, भिक्षुओं जब कोई भिक्खु विविच्च एव कामे ही, इंद्रियों के विषयों से विरत, विविच्च अकुशले ही धम्मे ही, मन की अकुशल अवस्थाओं से विरत, सवित्तकम सविचारम विवेकजम पीति सुखम पठम ध्यानम उपसंपज्य विहरति, वह भिक्षु वितर्क और विचारों सहित एवं एकांत से उत्पन्न प्रीति और सुख की अनुभूति के साथ प्रथम ध्यान में प्रवेश कर विहार करता है। वितक्क विचारा नाम रूप समा, वितर्क और विचारों को शांत कर अच्छतम संसाधनम चेतसु एकोदिभावम अवितक्कम अविचारम समाधिजम प्रीति सुखम द्वितीयम ध्यानम उपसंपज्य विहरति, वह भिक्षु बिना वितर्क और विचारों के अंतरंग शांत अवस्था, चित्त की एकाग्रता एवं समाधि से उत्पन्न प्रीति और सुख की अनुभूति के साथ द्वितीय ध्यान में प्रवेश कर विहार करता है। प्रीतिया च विरागा, प्रीति से विरत, उपेक्षको च विहरति, समता भाव में प्रतिष्ठित हो, सतोच संपजानो, जागरूक और प्रज्ञानी हो, सुखंच कायेन पटि संवेदेति, काया में सुख का अनुभव करते हुए यम तम अरिया आचिखन्ति उपेक्षको सतिमा सुखम विहारितीति ततीयम ध्यानम उपसंपज्य विहरति, जो भिक्षु उस तृतीय ध्यान में प्रवेश कर उसमें विहार करता है उसे आर्यजन समतावान सतीवान सुख विहारी कहते हैं। सुखस्य च पहाना, सुख का प्रहाण कर, दुःखस्य च पहाना, दुख का प्रहाण कर, पुब्ब एव सो मनस्य दो मनस्सानम अथंगमा, पूर्व में सभी स्वमनस्य और दौर मनस्य की समाप्ति कर अदुःखम असुखम उपेक्षा सती पारिशुद्धिम चतुर्थम ध्यानम उपसंपज्य विहरति, और फिर सुख और दुख से विरत समता एवं परिशुद्ध सती के साथ वह भिक्षु चतुर्थ ध्यान में प्रवेश कर उसमें विहार करता है। अयम उच्यति भिक्खवे सम्मा समाधि, भिक्षुओं इसको सम्यक समाधि कहा जाता है। अयमेव अर्यो अट्ठंगिको मग्गो, यही आर्य अष्टांगिक मार्ग है।
Now listen to the last discourse of the Satipatthana series today, concluding discourse of Mr. Rodney Smith on his Satipatthana series.
So, welcome everyone to this exciting conclusion of 2 years. I know it's been a nail biter all this time. You can't wait to get to that final climax. Well, we're there. And this story ends with a puff of smoke. Both the villain and the heroine. So, but it's a tale worth telling. And after tonight, there will be a discussion night, and then the week following, I want to have a Q&A to sort of bring up your questions around whatever might still be percolating, and for resolution in that final evening, the last Tuesday of December. So we will be meeting more on this subject, but the formal talks will end as of this evening. And I think it's a very interesting way that I have worked myself into these foundations, as I have learned along with you an orientation and direction. I started out, I didn't really, I had assumed the commentary and the way that most people had been speaking about the four foundations, and they made sense within a particular level of understanding, but it didn't feel to me to be a complete picture and one that I could fully embrace. But as I started moving into each of the foundations, I found them building within me a strong confidence of where I believe the Buddha was taking us. And I just felt it needed some clarity and fleshing out so that it could be really understood. And I'm not trying to be arrogant that I understand, nobody else does, but when you bring your own understanding to what is being said and you use implied Dharma wisdom rather than just what the Buddha suttas say, I think it offers another, I hope it enhances what's there in terms of clarity and direction. So basically, these four foundations is really the extraction of our identity from form into formlessness. So that if we wonder what the problem is that we're totally identified with each expression of form around us. And we don't even realize that's a problem because we just take that to be our living experience. And one of those expressions of form that we have invested in is our form identity, the sense of I, me, and mine. And so when we have that form identity, what we have in front of us are other factors, other forms that we have given various definitions and meanings to. And so we live in a world of billiard balls. We live in a world of isolated entities that have been sort of consensually talked about and encouraged since we were born. And because we keep clashing in to each other and to other people's expectations, it's a rough go to be a billiard ball. And there's a lot of scar tissue. And we just wonder whether there's anything out there besides just the sense of isolation that we know. We begin to wonder whether there's something more to life than what we have known it to be. Now I think I'm going to switch metaphors here because I think the metaphor that I'd like to encourage tonight is really a metaphor of a movie and a screen, because I think that's actually more clarity. All of us have been to the theater, been to the movie theater, and if the movie is presented on a screen, and the movie has all the forms, the images. Now, the images are what we go to see. That's what brings us to the movie. We don't go to see the screen. And one the screen is an accompaniment of the movie, is it not? In fact, they're actually one in the same thing. The images aren't separate from the screen. They're actually on the screen, you might say. And yet how many of us went and said, after the movie, said, well, that was an interesting screen. We miss that because it doesn't hold our attention. And I think that's a very accurate metaphor for life and how we live it. We have invested in the forms on the screen because that's what interests us. Why does it interest us? It's because we think we can be fulfilled through the movie that is being presented, through the movie that is dancing in front of our eyes, and the one, more importantly, that we keep telling ourselves about our main role within this center stage. And we're reluctant to give that up because, for a couple of reasons. One is that we still want things from the movie. We expect it to go in accordance with, we think we have ultimate direction on it. Really, you have no more direction on it than one of the characters in the movie as an image. That's about how much control we have. But anyway, we think we do, which is what invites ourself forward in this, and we still feel incomplete in whatever ways that we have invested our energy in the movie and feel like it needs to turn out a certain way for us to be able to settle and be content. But it never does, or it does. When it does, it only does partially, and it leaves a kind of a wanting more, or a bitterness in our taste that we would like to go and change things, and all of us have a backlog of issues in which we would like to change certain scenes within the movie, on and on. But because we're so invested in the imaging in front of us, we miss that which holds the images. And it's more than that which holds the images, it's that which the images are composed. In truth, all things are composed of a single essence, said the Buddha. And we go, whoa, that really changes my understanding of life, because I thought there were 92 elements or however many there are. And I thought, I was different then and she was different from. I don't see the commonality. Where's the single essence? And if I look in detail and survey, I still don't see it, so I don't know what he's talking about. Well, you have to go a different way in this thing. First thing you have to do is to be willing to say, okay, so this movie is running on its own and it's not very fulfilling. And not to self-blame ourselves for it being unfulfilling. It's the nature of the movie that is not going to allow every single isolated entity to get what it wants. How could it? There's only so much. And so we're all going to feel unfulfilled. And the fact that we are chasing something that in its essence is unfulfilling, which means an experience, right? So we chase an experience because all of life is just an experience. You realize that, don't you? And so as we partake, all that ever happens to us is different forms of experience occur. Different sights, sounds, smells, and tastes, and thoughts. And different textures within that, different states of mind, different pleasures, different pains. But that's all we ever get out of this thing. It's not like we can get anything else out of it. That's very sobering when you realize that what you get out of life is an experience. And when you look at the nature of an experience, it isn't much. It's only that much, said Ajahn Chah. Because when you really look at the nature of experience, it's ephemeral. How much satisfaction can come from something that's just momentarily present? And so no wonder there is this hunger in us for something everlasting. And we don't know what that means. We keep calling it love, everlasting love, or some sort of something. We keep looking in the field of form, on the movie screen. We look for the images on the screen. That's something everlasting. But the next frame of the movie shows us that that frame was not everlasting. And on it goes. Now how long does it take us to learn that? Because 90% of Dharma practice is coming to that understanding. Is the realization, you know what? It doesn't work. I mean, we're afraid to say that, some of us, because, God, it's like if you scratch beneath the surface, every one of us would say that in this hall. But none of us want to be the one that says it. The king has no clothes. Oh! It has no clothes. I'll say it. So, you see, I mean, it's not that it has clothes for some people and others. We like to pretend. Some people like to pretend it has clothes. And then everybody goes, wow, I wonder what they're doing, because I sure don't feel like it has any. And I'll do what they're doing. I'll become a CEO. I pick on CEOs. It's like the... So we say, okay, well then, I have a form identity. It can't be, I admit that it's not out there, but, I still want to get something, I still like my form identity. It's not that I just have to give up the forms of the world, I have to give up my form identity. It's not so hard to come to a resolution that the forms of the world aren't going to pay off in some kind of satisfactory way. But it's very difficult to come to that conclusion about your form identity, who you are, the images that you have accrued, your own ideas, your own righteousness, all of the ways that you feel just in the world, and self-promoted. That really is what stops us. Now we like to say, okay, well the forms don't work, so I'm ready to pass on now, but we're not. If we look honestly at ourselves, we're not done with ourselves, we're not finished with ourselves, we're not finished with the proclamation. We think if we just keep proclaiming something, at least in other people's eyes, will be seen as a success, even if we don't feel that way in ourselves. You just have to say it loudly enough and long, more continuously. Suddenly somebody will listen. As if that would satisfy you. Are you tired yet? I mean really tired, bone tired. Because that's what you have to be bone tired. And mostly Dharma practice for most people is clearing away the fog that's in our eyes so that we can become bone tired. So and that's when the divestment then moves to the screen. That's when the screen is the only thing you're interested in. And when that happens, something magnanimous happens. That is when the center is willing to release his or her centeredness, self-centeredness, so that the circle has no center. If a circle has no center, it has no circumference. It turns into the infinite. Where else can it go? Right? It's either a self-centered world or an infinite one. Those are the choices. And the infinite scares us. I'm just bringing up points here. The infinite scares us, so we'll stay self-centered to limit the effect that Dharma practice will have. And so we kind of, it's not that we are insincere. I think everyone in the room is sincere, but we just don't want to go on that direction. It's like, okay, I want the Dharma, but I just don't want to go in the direction in which I don't have something to say. And so we'll find ways to encourage or move our Dharma practice very subtly into self-enhancement, ways to self-enhance ourselves. And I'm enamored lately by everyone's pull towards doing very strong samadhi concentration states, because they seem to proclaim something. You can read them in the suttas, and like right concentration is first jhana, second jhana, third jhana. What does that mean? See, this is where you have to be so sobering in your own wisdom that you realize that a bunch of monks who got together and encouraged the suttas forward, encouraged what their states were that they had attained forward, so that they could make some claim for themselves in terms of their own propriety, in terms of their own importance. At least I can't understand it any other way. Because it's not there. It's not there. And it offers a sense of self-accomplishment. It offers a sense of self-enhancement, which any cultivation does. Any cultivation offers self-enhancement. But that's not the way this thing's going. It's not going towards self-enhancement. If it was going towards self-enhancement, we would all be free, because we spend our lives doing just that. This is where you have to step back, cold water on your face. What's this about? What's going on here? First of all, do I want this? Well, not yet. Okay, fair enough. I don't want it yet. Okay, so what is it that's inhibiting? You have to ask questions. You can't just say, I don't want it yet now. I'll, someday maybe. No, you ask questions about why you don't want it yet. I don't want it yet because I don't feel complete in myself. Well, that's a good one, because how many of us in the room do? In fact, if I canvassed the 7 billion of us in the world, I probably wouldn't find a hand raised. Why? Because the very nature of how we live is that you never feel complete. You feel something needed, something more needed. That's the driving message of our life. Something more is needed. Anytime you take yourself out of the whole, which is what we do to claim our own individuality, we take ourselves away from the whole, you're going to feel incomplete. That's the nature of taking ourselves out of something, right? Some of you don't like this talk. I can tell by the grimaces. Well, I'm just... So the foundations of mindfulness were to take it to this point, to this very, very honest point, where we go, I don't know, maybe I'll keep this thing about body. I'll keep it in as a picture, as an image. I'll work with my body. I'll shape it up. I'll go into it. I'll see it as sensations arising. But it's still body, and as long as it's body, you're in there. Let's not pretend that we're going somewhere at that level of understanding. No matter how deep you insightfully see, and sensitively feel the sensations that are there, there's no escape as long as you are the one that's seeing them. I don't care what subtlety, what power of microscope you use. But it does seem like we're going somewhere because the power of that microscope gets very, very refined. And you start seeing things at such an amazingly quick level. You think, wow, I'm really going somewhere. And then there's going to be some experience. Listen to this. There's going to be some experience that frees me. As if you could be freed from an experience. A transitory sight, sound, smell, taste, or absence thereof would free you. See, it's all conditioned by years and years of commentary. And it's, I'm not suggesting it's not interesting. You get into this stuff and it's, wow, this is fascinating. I see things coming and going, disappearing, arising. Why? Because your consciousness is going down to the quantum level of insight. There's no reason, it's just as alive down there as it is on this level. There's no reason that the consciousness can't perceive at that level, which it does do. With given a high degree of samadhi, you can perceive at the quantum level, the smallest level. And things they're going, they're passing away, they're rising, they're disappearing, it's like chaos in there. But that's just seen at a different level. That's not the end of the image. That's just making a more refined image. That's not divesting from images. How can that be divesting from images? It's just creating a new image of fascination for myself. Much nicer than the old one, and people are back there telling us to keep going, encouraging us on, because there'll be some experience that will happen that will be called freedom. Never mind that the success rate is 0. But it must be in there somewhere. And everybody, but they'll claim their own success, you see. But you'd get to know them, and you go, whoa. This is not an empty soul here. This is not an empty spirit. Emptiness has a very different flavor. And so when we want to know about ourselves, we have to go and line ourselves up to this form identity. We have to know it as an image. We can't just know it as a more subtle image. We have to know that the image itself is the screen. We have to know it to its absence. I'd rather stay with a Nietzsche. Change. Why? Because I can adapt to that. Yeah, see, I'm changing too. Or I'll stay with suffering. That characteristic. Oh, isn't it? Yeah, it's because I'm attached. Yeah, you're attached. Okay, just let go. Okay, I'll talk myself into letting go. See, all of this can be adapted. All of it's adaptable. But anatta isn't adaptable. You're either there or you're not. That's no adaptation there. It's the way through. We just have to have the courage to know that this door provides much more than the negative way it's stated. The loss of an image, the loss of what you cherish, the loss of your belief systems. That sounds like you're being robbed of things. That doesn't sound like much of a prize. How about life itself? How about entering life? Now we're getting somewhere. How about taking a seat in life itself? Nobody'd want to do it if all you did was lose. But what you gain is so far greater than what you lose. So there are two ways that the Buddha encourages us forward here. Through discernment. This is the important point, is that we have to use the screen in order to know there are images. You can't know you're an image from another image. This is where the analogy ends, okay? So we have to use the formless to dissect form. You can't dissect form from form. You, the sense of me, can't go in because you're full of judgment and ideas. That's what you are. So if you start looking at other forms, all you'll bring is your ideas and your reactions and your whatever to attitudes to that particular object, and you'll temper some and add some more, and it'll go away as still something. It'll still be something. It'll be different than what it was when you first looked at it, but it'll still be something because you're using form to eliminate form, and that cannot be done. You have to use third foundation. Just this. See, he gives us the tool. Just this. So when I see something, there's no me behind it. There's just awareness, seeing. That takes us into the fourth foundation, which is formlessness seeing form. Discernment seeing form. And that's the way through form. That's the way to understand the limitation of form, and that's the way to find the limitation of form identity as well. Me. 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 So there's two clear paths, both of which I think are necessary in order to come to the complete understanding of form identity. Okay, I'm just going to give it to you, and then we can talk about it in the next couple of weeks if you have questions about it. But the first one, I think, is not clearly a Buddhist practice, but it was offered to me by an Indian wise man, Nisargadatta Maharaj, who wrote the book I Am That back in 1980. I was a Buddhist monk and went to see him. And he kept saying, find the I am of your experience. And I had no idea what he was talking about, the I am of my experience. Wasn't I trying to get rid of the I? What would you want to take me there for? But what he was pointing to was where it is that we are resting in terms of our identity. Where is it that you claim I am? And see if that is ultimately a changing phenomena or a complete phenomena that doesn't change. And so when you do that, you start perhaps by looking at things that are relative, like I think maybe on my thoughts, but then you don't stay there because it's real clear that your thoughts aren't being controlled by you, and that there's nothing consistent or permanent about thoughts at all. So eventually you come to this state of formlessness, awareness, where the am is in the I am. And the way we have been working with it here is to say, what is it that's seeing? You see, the seeing is the screen. What is seeing? What is seen, S-E-E-N, is the form, is the image. So it's not like, what am I seeing? Because what you're seeing are the forms. What is seeing? S-E-E-I-N-G. Not my eyes are seeing. Your eyes aren't seeing. Awareness is seeing. And if you can spend some time on that, and it'll take you right to the I am of experience, the amness of experience. Okay, so most of us, sometimes we can get a sense of that. Most of us can't stay there for very long before we're back into and playing within the images of what we see. So that's fair enough. So then the second way, Buddhism is very strong, very good at doing this. Every one of you that have ever sat for even a few minutes have already started this excursion, this journey of, in the Hindu tradition it's called nete, not this, not that. Not this, not that. See, that's what meditation ultimately has us sit in awareness, seeing the displays of life, the forms of life, the presentations, the images of life, the pictures on the screen. And at first we take up position within some of that imaging. Very quickly, we think we're our thoughts, but then we see that thoughts just think themselves. And then we're very slippery on this one, so we think more subtle thoughts about the thoughts that are thinking themselves. And we keep a position, But as we get quieter, and this is the value of samadhi, is that it does allow us to be able to get quieter so that we can see more and at a stiller. When we're more still, we're not chattering. And when we're chattering less, our position is not thought-based. And so at some point, we begin to hear thought, all thought, but not from a location, not from a place that I am listening to. So the awareness surrounds and thoughts arise within that surround. And also do emotions. Emotions are even harder than thought, perhaps, to extricate ourselves from, because they're so tied up to a kind of storyline of our life and a whole history associated with that story, that they're so muddled within what we believe ourselves to be that they pull us back into the forms and expressions and images of life, and we die there. We have tantrums, we play out the dramatic scene, all within the imaging of our life, and forgetting the fact that, wait a minute, what's the third foundation? Just this is arising. Just this anger, just this sorrow, just this grief, just this happiness. That the continuity or the sense of continuity comes from sort of having a whole bunch of dots and making them so close together that they appear like a single line. And so if we just keep telling our story from one dot to the next, the story seems to have continuity across the dots. And I can tell my story. You can tell me where I've been yesterday, and since I've been somewhere yesterday, that proves I exist. Because I remember where I was yesterday. There is the continuity. So don't tell me I don't exist. Don't tell me anatta. So way back at the back somewhere, we're like anatta. If I have to put up with anatta to be a Buddhist, I'll do it, but don't try to convince me of it. Because I know I'm alive. Right? But when we seldom ask the question of what do we know about our life outside of the images that we portray our life to be, outside of the memory that we have of our life, which is happening now. It's not happening then. There was no then. There's just now. And we can see the memories arising now, and therefore they're an image that's arising within the now, within the formless. And now we're truly impacted. Something has really, because I begin to see that I can't get out of this. I can't connive my way out of this. I can't argue a sense of me from now. I can't. It's not arguable. Because it holds everything that I thought I was. As long as I think in longitudinal terms, I can still be a was and a maybe. But in now that holds that, I can't. So I want nothing to do with now. Yeah, I don't want anything to do with that. It shows how porous I am. It shows how I'm full of holes. Right? So this is where there's no substitute for honesty and sincerity. And there's a story that I like to tell and have told in the past is in Carl Jung's memoirs. He tells the story of going to Clark's College in Worcester, Massachusetts to get an honorary degree with Sigmund Freud. So the two of them are in the same compartment, I guess. And what do you two psychoanalysts do? But they analyze each other on their way to this. So they're back and forth, and I guess Jung hit a nerve of Freud. And at some point, Freud throws up his hand and refuses to go any further into analysis because he says, my authority is more important than the truth of where this analysis is taking me. So that was the limit of his sincerity. That was where his honesty stopped. But at least we blame Freud for, I mean, where's our, what about my authority? You see? I like us to go, let's go there. I like us to go right to the edge. Right to the edge of this thing. Oh, man, I don't want to go there. And no one's asking you to. That's what's so beautiful about this thing. No one is whipping you. You know, it's not like there's nobody back there like with cattle prods. If we don't want to go, we don't have to go. What you get is form. You get it. By staying in a protected place, we each get the forms of our life. And then at some point, you'll want to go on your own, naturally, authentically, and you'll say, I don't give a damn about my authority. What's the question? I'll go anywhere that the question will take me. And that'll come because you realize that this is what you realize. You realize that you're in the kingdom, you're in this kingdom. And the king of the kingdom says to you, you can have anything in my kingdom. Anything you want, anything. And you look around, you could have anything. And so you say, well, how about a pencil? Got a pencil? You can have a pencil. So we give ourselves away to the smallest little object when we could have anything. And you realize that at some point our adherence and investment in form is like wanting a pencil compared to the immensity of the possibilities here. But it does create an identity crisis. And so, it's kind of a prolonged identity. That's what spirituality is, really, a prolonged identity crisis, because wherever we think we've settled with a determinate fact about ourselves, if you look at it a different way, suddenly that is uprooted. And so, it does create. That's why there's stability. There's no substitute for stability of consciousness. Stability of consciousness is not a thing. It's not an idea nor image. It's stability. It's like an unshakable stability. What causes the problems of our identity is when we get afraid, which is a shaky consciousness, a consciousness that is invested in fear when it arises and has a whole story associated with fear. When there is no fear invested in and no story arises in relationship to it, that's stability. It's air, but believe me, it feels stable. And when that stability, that oneness of mind, that absolute stability of consciousness is there, then you don't care whether you're uprooted or not, because it means nothing. It's not like it even matters. As long as we are form bound, it matters. Whether somebody calls us a name, oh my God, you've attacked my form. And then that releases a bunch of, like flies that, oh my God, my form, what am I going to do? I got to get back and convince him that my form is different than he believes it to be, so that I can let everybody know that my form is, so that's craziness, isn't it? But if you have stability of consciousness and somebody says, you're a fool, okay, what difference does it make? I mean, first of all, it really doesn't make any difference whether you are a fool or not. But whether he or she thinks you're a fool is even less convincing. And you don't believe it because you don't hold any particular idea of yourself whatsoever. And therefore nothing sticks. And there's no counterweight or defensive measure necessary to get yourself back oriented. And that's the true measure of stable consciousness. All this other stuff, everything, I don't want to, but all forms, sitting postures, beads, mandalas, chanting, all of it has to do with refining consciousness sufficiently so we can ask the questions that uproot ourselves. We stay within the form, thinking the form is going to take us somewhere. That is rites and rituals. That's believing that your prayers will be answered. Rites and rituals is a hindrance. Belief in form is a hindrance. Form will save me. What is it? It's going to save you from what? What's it going to do? It's just going to keep your form afloat. It will do that. Now I want to take you, because I'm aware of the time, I want to take you into something that every one of you can get. And you say, oh, I don't know anatta. Well, first of all, as I've already said, you're well into it, because you've already, every time you see something, you can't be what you see. Now just get that logically. If you hear yourself thinking, you can't be that thought. You can only think a thought. You can't listen to and be at the same time. So get a sense of how seeing objects prohibits you being that object. And then just take yourself apart that way. And just be willing to look, no matter how subtle the thoughts are, be willing to look and see whether you're located in that position either. Well, I've looked at all this. Well, what about the one that's commenting on what you're seeing? How about that person? And over time, you can flush the whole thing out. So that's an important way. But here's another important way. This goes directly to the heart of it. The sense of you, what do you think? You think you're outside of the mind, having a mind? Or do you think that the sense of you is in the mind as a part of the mind that's being thought? You're being thought. Or are you the thinker of the mind, the holder of the mind? I have a mind. Well, if you think you're the latter, if you think you have a mind, knock on wood. Because it's crazy. Where are you if you're outside of the mind? No one's been able to find you in the history of science. All they can find as an expression of you are thoughts you're having about yourself. That means you're in the mind, not the owner of the mind. Now you can get, okay, so that's, let my practice show me that. You have to have a resolve. I want to know if there's anything outside the mind's activity. And everything that's outside of the mind's activity, let it be seen. And everything that's in the mind's activity, let it be seen. So all sense of me is a mental activity in the mind. It's something, it's a thought or a feeling or an emotion or a memory or a conjecture or an attitude. I can feel that. There's nothing that awareness can't discern. That's the beauty of this fourth foundation. So I'm not a person having a mental experience. I'm a mental experience pretending I'm a person. Now every one of you can get a sense of that. It's so obvious. And therefore when I sit down, I'm not going to pretend I'm being the meditator. I'm the thing that's being meditated on. And then you'll begin to encourage the awareness which is outside the mind, also throughout the mind, but it's like this space in the room. It envelops it all. Everything can be seen in awareness, and yet awareness is not a part of the mind. Now that will become very clear to you, that awareness is not contained only as a mental experience. It'll become very clear to you. Because there's no mental experience that can't be seen from awareness. Therefore, awareness can't be a mental experience if you can see every mental experience that's arising. And so as we get quieter with those two, formlessness, the awareness, or form, the activity of the mind, you get whoa. Let me just shut up then. Stop trying to do anything as a mental experience to encourage formlessness. Because I can't. All I can do as a mental experience is encourage form, expressions, images, ideas about what's occurring. That's just form. So I have to shut up in order for formlessness to be seen. Now we're moving in a wise direction. You haven't squirreled yourself away in some cave. It's as available to you as this moment is. And you can't refute it. Well, you don't, but part of me's outside. Yeah? Well, let me see that part. Please. And it's within all of our ability. And when the mind is whole and not fractured, you see what happens that creates the fractured sense of the world is that the thought of I pulls itself out from the world of objects, the idea, the images that the senses see. Now I am here and the objects are there. And that's two parts of the mind, of the brain, divided against itself, talking, that's an interesting person there. I think I'll get to know them. That's this part of the brain talking to this part of the brain. Now when we're willing to be quiet and include the whole thing, that's formlessness. We're not just willing to produce or infuse or invest in more imaging. And that's the resolution. See how close it is? That's the resolution. Now you can do yoga for the rest of your life. But it better show you that if you want it to be a resolution. Or is it just that I want my body to be more pliable, to be a better form, to be more flexible, not to age more gracefully, so that I don't feel the aging. See all of that? See how we just embellish the form? We just keep embellishing it, pushing it forward, shining it, buffing it. Or is this about something else? And if it is, let us know that. Whether we want to go that direction, that's up to each one of us. But at least let us know that. Okay, y'all. Can we sit for a minute or two?
प्रवचन का सारा सुनाने का प्रयास करता हूँ। शुरू में उन्होंने वही भूमिका बांधी कि वो किस तरह से सती पठान को देखते हैं कि मुख्य बात ये है कि जो दुख है वो मैं के कारण होता है, क्योंकि मैं को हम 5 खंडों में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं। मैं अपनी भाषा में कह रहा हूँ जिससे कि हम फेमिलियर हैं, ताकि दिक्कत कम हो। तो हम सारी माया का भाव उन खंडों में ही डाल देते हैं जिसको फॉर्म कह रहे हैं, और इस कारण से हम एक इंडिविजुअल की तरह रहते हैं। मैं एक हूँ और दूसरा 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 दूसरा। तो संसार में अगर 700 करोड़ लोग इस तरह से हैं तो अलग अलग हैं, तो आपस में क्लैश होगा ही, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट होगा ही, तो उसका कोई सोल्यूशन नहीं है वो। तो फिर उन्हें वो जो सिमिली दी सिनेमा की और स्क्रीन की, जो पहले भी एक बार दी जा चुकी है, कि जैसे स्क्रीन पे होता है सिनेमा हॉल में, उसमें इमेज आती हैं, तो सारी इमेज स्क्रीन पे ही होती हैं, उस स्क्रीन का ही पार्ट होती हैं, लेकिन हम स्क्रीन को नहीं देखते, सिर्फ इमेज को ही देखते रहते हैं और इसलिए स्क्रीन को मिस कर जाते हैं। तो ये एक उपमा दी जाती है कि जो अवेयरनेस है उसके अंदर सारी इमेज आ रही हैं, हम इमेज के अंदर इतने उलझ जाते हैं कि जो उसके बैकग्राउंड में जो होल्ड कर रहा है इमेज को, अवेयरनेस या कॉन्शियसनेस, उसको नहीं देखते, उसको नहीं समझ पाते, सिर्फ इमेज में ही खो जाते हैं। जो फॉर्म आती हैं, जो रूप दिखते हैं, वेदना दिखती है, फीलिंग, इमोशंस दिखते हैं, उसी में उलझ जाते हैं, और जो बैकग्राउंड में शांत अवेयरनेस है वो देख नहीं पाते हैं। तो उन्होंने इस बात को समझाने के लिए कई तरह के उदाहरण दिए समझने के, कि हम ये कई बार साधक ये सोचते हैं कि जो मैं अनुभव कर रहा हूँ वो एक्सपीरियंस करते करते मुझे इतना सटल एक्सपीरियंस हो जाएगा कि मैं एक्सपीरियंस के आधार पे ही मुक्त हो जाऊँगा, और वो फॉर्मलेस जो एंटिटी है, सत्य निर्वाण है, उसको देख लूँगा। बताते हैं वो संभव नहीं है, क्योंकि जो एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं वो अपने नेचर के हिसाब से अनित्य हैं, वो कभी पूरी तरह सेटिस्फाई हो ही नहीं सकते। अगर हम उसको जीवन का ध्येय बनाएंगे तो हमेशा हमारे को कुछ ना कुछ लगा ही रहेगा कि कुछ और चाहिए, कुछ और चाहिए। तो इस बात समझने में कितनी देर क्यों लग रही है हमको, कि हम कब तक अपने सेल्फ डिसेप्शन में रहते हैं, कि हमको ये लगता है कि चलो हम दूसरों की नज़र में तो अच्छे हो रहे हैं ना, अपने अंदर से बेशक हम खोखले हों। तो फॉर्म की आइडेंटिटी के साथ जो है, बाहर के जो रूप और उसके 5 खंडों के साथ अगर हम अपने आप को आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं तो ऐसी परेशानी होती रहती है। और जब तक हम उस से थक नहीं जाते, उस परिस्थिति से जो निविदा कहा जाता है, डिसएंचेंटमेंट कहा जाता है, तब तक वो हम सच्ची में सर्च कर नहीं सकते। हम फॉर्म आइडेंटिटी को पकड़े रहते हैं। साधना भी करेंगे तो आइडेंटिटी को छोड़ना नहीं चाहेंगे, क्योंकि आइडेंटिटी से इतना ज़्यादा लगाव है, इतनी सारी अस्मिता उसी के साथ जुड़ी हुई है। तो इसलिए वो बता रहे थे कि जो साधना हम करते हैं, जिसमें बहुत गहन समाधि के आधार पे, जैसे सूक्ष्म स्तर पे करते हैं, शरीर को देख रहे हैं, फिर उसकी एक एक कलाप को उठते हुए देख रहे हैं, तरंगे देख रहे हैं शरीर के, तो हम सोचते हैं ये बहुत अच्छा लगता है, बहुत फैसिनेटिंग भी लगता है, लेकिन हम सोचते हैं कि उसी को करते करते ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस होगा कि हम उसको भी देख पाएंगे। जो नित्य है, शाश्वत है, कहते वो संभव नहीं है कि अनित्य के माध्यम से आप नित्य तक पहुंच जाएं। तो वो इसलिए उस उलझ में उलझते ही रहते हैं, क्योंकि अनात्मबोध ही असली चीज़ है जो कि हमको उस तरफ ले जाएगा। लेकिन क्योंकि अनात्मबोध में मैं का भाव ख़त्म होने लगता है तो आदमी को वो पसंद नहीं आता साधकों को कई बार। तो इसलिए समझ की, डिसर्नमेंट की, फॉर्मलेस की, जो भी आप कह लें, उसको समझने की आवश्यकता है। तो बार बार फिर उन्होंने कहा कि जो त्रिसी फाउंडेशन है, जिसे भगवान कहते हैं केवल देखो, देखने में सिर्फ देखना हो, उसका मतलब यही है कि जो भी देखा जा रहा है वो महत्वपूर्ण नहीं है। तो जो जिस आधार पे देखना जा रहा है, जैसे वो कहते हैं जो हम देख रहे हैं वो महत्वपूर्ण नहीं है, क्या देख रहा है वो महत्वपूर्ण है। तो वो उस बात की ओर ध्यान दिला रहे हैं, जो कि उपनिषदों की भी यही वाणी रहती थी। तो दो रास्ते वो कहते हैं, एक यह रास्ता है कि आप, जैसे उन्होंने अद्वैत का रास्ता निसर्गदत्ता महाराज को बताया ना उन्होंने, कि आप ये पता करो कि ये आई एम किसको कहते रहते हो, मैं हूँ, मैं है क्या। तो उसको देखोगे जब, तो जो बदलने वाली चीज़ है वो नहीं है। मैं तो तुमको हमेशा ही लगता है ना मैं हूँ, तो उस चीज़ को ढूंढो जो हमेशा बनी रहती है, तो अंततः आप उसी अवेयरनेस तक पहुँच जाते हैं। और भगवान बुद्ध के मार्ग पे भी उसी तरह से वो जब वो कहते हैं कि आप जो देखा जा रहा है उसको महत्व ना दो, जो देखने जिस तरह से देखा जा रहा है उसको महत्व दो, और बाकी जो चीज़ें नहीं हैं उनको नकार दो नीति के हिसाब से। जैसे अनात्य लक्षण सूत्र में कहा जाता है, ये भी अखंड भी आपका नहीं है, रूप भी नहीं है, वेदना भी नहीं है, क्योंकि बदल रही है, आपके कंट्रोल में नहीं है। तो उस आधार पे भी आप उस स्थिति तक पहुँचते हैं कि ये सब तो मैं नहीं हूँ। हम अंततः वहीं जाके पहुँचते हैं कि जो फॉर्मलेस है, जो प्योर अवेयरनेस है, वही मेरा स्वरूप हो सकता है। हाँ, वो ये बात भी बार बार कह रहे थे कि अनात्म को एक्सेप्ट करने में बहुत दिक्कत होती है, क्योंकि हम उसको एक्सेप्ट करने में दिक्कत होती है कि हमारा अहम का भाव जो है वो हिलने लगता है, क्योंकि हमको लगता है कि मैं तो हूँ ही ना, कल मैं था, परसों भी था, ये काम किया, वो काम किया, मेरी याददाश्त है, मुझे इमेजिन। तो वो याददाश्त वगैरह को हम सत्य मान लेते हैं, ये भूल जाते हैं कि वो एक सिर्फ विचार है। और अगर हम बुरे और उसी में उलझे रहते हैं तो सच्ची मुक्ति कभी मिलने की संभावना नहीं है, उसमें उलझे रहेंगे। तो अच्छी सच्ची फुलफिलमेंट जो है, जो स्टेबिलिटी है, जो समत्व भाव आता है, तो तभी आएगा जब हम किसी अनित्य को छोड़ के अनित्य को देखते देखते नित्य की ओर जाएंगे। और नित्य जो है वो शुद्ध चेतना है, कॉन्शियसनेस है। तो जब ऐसी स्थिति आ जाएगी तो फिर आप, जैसे कोई कुछ कह देता है कि आप अच्छे मूर्ख हो, कैसे हो, तो आपको बुरा लगता है। कोई क्रिटिसाइज़ करता है तो बुरा लगता है, क्योंकि वो हमारी फॉर्म आइडेंटिटी है। अगर हम फॉर्म आइडेंटिटी छोड़ के कॉन्शियसनेस को अपनी आइडेंटिटी मानते हैं, मान लीजिए, तो फिर ये सब बातों का फ़र्क नहीं महसूस नहीं होती, क्योंकि वो आप हैं ही नहीं। तो सचमुच में चित्त जो है कंपायमान नहीं रहता फिर। और जो एक और तरह से उन्होंने समझाने की कोशिश की कि ये मानना कि फॉर्म जो है वो मैं हूँ, वो एक तरह का राइट एंड रिचुअल है। विचारों को आप विश्वास में कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं, तो वो आपके लिए एक बंधन होगा, एक संयोजन हो जाएगा। क्योंकि जो भी आप देख पाते हैं वो आप नहीं हो सकते। देखने वाला अलग है और देखे जाने वाली चीज़ अलग है। जो दृष्टा दृश्य विवेक जो कहा जाता है, उसकी बात वो समझा रहे हैं। कई बार हम समझते हैं कि मैं हूँ, मेरा एक माइंड है। तो अगर आपका एक माइंड है तो इसका मतलब आप माइंड से अलग हैं, तो बता दीजिए माइंड से अलग आप हैं तो हैं कहाँ। तो अगर आप इसको इस तरह से भी विचारों से भी करने लगेंगे तो पाएंगे कि ऐसा नहीं है। आप एक मन का विचार ही हैं। आप एक बहुत अच्छी कोटेशन उन्होंने कही, आई एम नॉट अ पर्सन हैविंग ए मेंटल एक्सपीरियंस, आई एम ए मेंटल एक्सपीरियंस प्रिटेंडिंग टू बी ए पर्सन। ये बहुत महत्व उम्दा बात कही, जिसको हमको एक गहन इस पर चिंतन करना चाहिए कि मैं एक मनुष्य नहीं हूँ जिसको कि अनुभव हो रहा है। मैं एक्चुअली अनुभव हो रहा है, मुझे अनुभव जो है उसको मैं मान रहा हूँ कि मैं एक मनुष्य हूँ। तो ये थोड़ी गहन बात, इसको हमको चिंतन करना चाहिए। तो अंततः यही कहते हैं कि कोई भी मेंटल एक्सपीरियंस किसी भी तरह का हो, कितनी गहन समाधि कर लीजिए, वो आपको फॉर्मलेसनेस की तरफ, नित्य की तरफ नहीं ले जाएगा। उस नित्य की आप तरफ तभी जाएंगे जब आप जो भी एक्सपीरियंसेस हैं उनको महत्व नहीं देंगे, उनसे हट जाएंगे, और जो जिस दायरे में, जिस कटोरे में वो सारे एक्सपीरियंस हो रहे हैं, ऐसे समझ लीजिए, जो कि स्क्रीन है, जिस स्क्रीन में सारे अनुभव हो रहे हैं, जो कि शुद्ध चेतना है, प्योर अवेयरनेस है, वैकुंठ अवेयरनेस है, वो तभी देख पाएंगे जब आप मन शांत कर लेंगे और इन सब एक्सपीरियंसेस से अपने आप को आइडेंटिफाई नहीं करें। और उसी में हमारी दुख का अंत है। संक्षेप में आज करते हैं मैत्री का, समय काफ़ी हो गया। तो मैं मैत्री की जो वर्सेस हैं उनको चांट करता जाऊंगा, थोड़ी थोड़ी देर रुकते रहेंगे और हम सब अब समझते हैं कैसे करना है, वैसे करते जाएंगे। सुखी अत्तानं परिहरामि। मम माता पितु आचार्या च ज्ञातिमित्ता च सब्रह्मचारिणो च अवेराहोन्तु अव्यापज्जा होन्तु अनीगा होन्तु सुखी अत्तानं परिहरन्तु। रक्षा देवता भूमट्ठा देवता रुक्खट्ठा देवता आकाशट्ठा देवता अवेरा होन्तु अव्यापज्जा होन्तु अनीगा होन्तु सुखी अत्तानं परिहरन्तु। अब समस्त प्राणियों को, समस्त लोगों में सर्वे सत्ता सर्वे पाना सर्वे भूता सर्वे कुंगला सर्वे अत्ता भाव परियापन्ना सम्भा इत्यो सर्वे पुरुषा सर्वे अरिया सर्वे अनरिया सर्वे देवा सर्वे मनुष्या सर्वे विनिपातिका अवेरा होन्तु अव्यापज्जा होन्तु अनीगा होन्तु सुखी अत्तानं परिहरन्तु। अब इस मैत्री भाव को अपने आप चारों दिशाओं में फैलाते हैं, सभी 10 दिशाओं में फैलाने का ये मैत्री भाव अपने आप सारे शरीर में धीरे धीरे व्याप्त हो जाता है। कुछ एफर्ट करने की आवश्यकता नहीं रहती, बस शांति से बैठ जाते हैं और देखते हैं शरीर में क्या हो रहा है। मन में मैत्री का भाव सबके प्रति, सभी दुख से मुक्त हों, सुख से रह पाएं, किसी के प्रति द्वेष न हो, किसी के प्रति दुर्भावना ना हो हमारे मन में और किसी के भी मन में। मत्ता सहगतेन चेतसा एकं विसंहरित्वा विहरति तथा द्वितीयं तथा तृतीयं तथा चतुर्थं। ऊर्ध्वं अधोतिर्यं सब्बदी सब्बत्तताय सब्बावन्तं लोकम। सारे लोकों में सब प्राणियों के प्रति अपने प्रति मैत्री का भाव व्याप्त करें सारे लोगों को, ताकि हम ये भगवान की वाणी को कृतार्थ कर सकें। मत्ता सहगतेन चेतसा विपुलेन महगतेन अपमानेन अवेरेन अव्यापज्येन फरित्वा विहरति। हम विपुल महान असीम निर्वैर द्वेष रहित मैत्री संपन्न चित्त से व्याप्त कर विहार करते हैं। थोड़ी देर ऐसे बैठ के विजुलाइज करते हैं सभी दिशाओं में सबकी मैत्री का भाव लेके। भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वबुद्धानुभावेन सदा सुखी भवन्तु मे। भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वधर्मानुभावेन सदा सुखी भवन्तु ते। भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वसङ्गानुभावेन सदा सुखी भवन्तु ते। सम्बुद्धो